Welcome to the Archbishop Mitty High School Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools with us here today. My name is Danielle, and I'm going to be your facilitator for the evening. Before we get started, I want to share some important housekeeping items with you. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. You will be able to ask questions using the Q&A function on your screen. Make sure that you check out the recording of this event at strivescan.com/archbishop-mitty. All right, we're going to get started with our very first presentation from UC Berkeley.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Happy to go first in this awesome event. My name is Amanda Lacrow, Assistant Director here at UC Berkeley. Thank you for having me. I'm going to be talking to you about Berkeley today. However, UC Berkeley is a part of the University of California school system. We were actually the first UC. That's why you may know us as Cal. So if you hear that thrown around, that's us, that's UC Berkeley. Something you want to know about UC Berkeley is that we are located right in y'all's backyard, very close to home, but far enough away to live on your own, experience dorm life, experience living on your own, get that college experience. We're right next to San Francisco, about 20 minutes away from SF. And we're about 45 minutes from Silicon Valley. So what that means is huge potential for internship opportunities, job opportunities, and getting yourself right into the industries that you're interested in and start your career as soon as you're an undergrad student. We have about 30,000 undergraduate students on our school. Volume is a pretty big volume of students. However, we encourage students to really find community on campus. At Berkeley, we really pride ourselves on the work we're doing to maintain and increase the diversity on our campus. We have students coming from all different backgrounds, from all different places around the world. We have around 75, or we are hosting around 7 students from over 75 different countries, speaking around 20 different languages. So a very diverse student population on campus. We really are a global community. We have around over 150 majors and programs on our campus, and they're all housed within the colleges that you see here on the screen. I'm not going to go through all of these colleges due to time. However, I encourage you to look up all of our programs at guide.berkeley.edu, which I will put in the chat later on. Just to give you an idea and to highlight some of the colleges on our campus that make us unique is that we do have a college of chemistry, which is very rare. We're one of the only colleges in the country that specifically has a college dedicated to the area of chemistry. Our College of Engineering is one of the top engineering schools in the country. And our Haas School of Business is one of the oldest business schools in the country as well. So again, go to guide.berkeley.edu. Really do some research on our majors and our award-winning faculty. We have just been awarded our 26th Nobel laureate last week. We are so excited. He is in the field of economics. So you will be, as an undergraduate student, doing research and studying alongside award-winning faculty. So for potential students, we really want you to understand the value of getting a Berkeley education. 65% of our students are graduating with absolutely no debt. Two-thirds of our students are receiving some type of financial aid. 80% of our students are graduating with either a job offer or acceptance into grad school. And if you are interested in being an entrepreneur, we are among the top producers of CEOs, and for students who are starting their own businesses, we are a top producer of Peace Corps volunteers as well. Berkeley students, Berkeley is among the top universities also for students in upward mobility as well. We were ranked, top 5 best colleges by Forbes. And however, I believe about a month or two ago, we were actually ranked #1 in the nation. So we are, according to Forbes, the #1 university in the nation as of right now. So 5 things you need to know about admissions. Berkeley uses a holistic review process. And what that means is that not one part of the application outweighs another. I have students who come to me and say, oh, I have a 4.0 or 4.5, and my friend has a 3.8, and they got in and I didn't. And that's because we do use a holistic review process. We read every part of your application. Everything gets factored into the review, and not one factor outweighs the other part of the application. So make sure that you are building a strong competitive application and you're looking at every single aspect of it, because we do take all of it into consideration. We are test free for 2022, which means we will not be utilizing SAT subject exams, or ACTs in our admissions process. Even if you send them in, we will not see them in our admissions process. There's only one application for all 9 UC campuses, so keep that in mind. If you are sending the application to multiple UCs, we'll all be reading it. So if Berkeley's your #1 school, make sure that if you write that, you only send it to us, because if UCLA sees it, anyways, so all of us read them. Letters of rec are not required, however, we may ask for them. So keep your checking your emails for any supplemental materials we might ask. And for the personal insight questions, there's 8. However, you only select 4 out of the 8 to answer. They're about 350 words each. So they're like short mini interviews. Okay, it's how we get to know you. Lastly, this is our admissions timeline. The filing period is coming up in November. We have a very firm November 30th deadline, so make sure you get it in by then. Admissions decisions go out late March, and the deadline for freshmen to accept their offer is May 1st. Thank you so much. I'm going to post some resources in the chat so that you can gain more information, and I'm here to answer any questions. Thanks.
Wonderful, Amanda. Thank you so much. All right, our next presenter is Santa Clara University. Looks like we're having a little sound issue. 1 second.
There we go, folks. Sorry about that. Well, welcome to Santa Clara's presentation, everybody. Apologize for the delay here. My name is Lorenzo. I'm one of the counselors here at the university. Before I do get started, I'd like to take a quick pause to let you all know that we sit on the traditional homelands of the Ohlone and Muwekma Ohlone people, who do trace their ancestry back to many, many decades for our traditional homelands. We give thanks and praise to actually play, work, and teach on these traditional homelands. But Santa Clara University is the oldest university in the state of California. We've been around since 1777. We became a university in 1851. Now, what makes it unique is we are right here. We are at the heart of Silicon Valley. Your neighbor, Google, Yahoo, Lockheed, eBay, NASA, Shein, KBNY, Pricewaterhouse, you know it all. It's all here. So because of that, we're very fortunate. We have more job offers, more internship offers, and actually current students enrolled on this campus. Represented almost with every single state in the country, with the exception of North Dakota. So if you know anybody for some reason there, get them to apply here already. I need that 50th state. We are growing internationally because we love it. This is, again, a global campus you are looking at. Now, at Santa Clara, what makes us different? We are a Jesuit institution. So yes, you can go attend any wonderful university, get a business, get an engineering, get an arts degree. But at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you, so what? What are you going to do with this? How are you going to pay it forward? Now, if you were applying to me 150 years ago, yes, you were Catholic. But right now, as you see on the screen, 50% say they're Catholic, 50% come from every other denomination. The only time I see that sway is during finals week, when everybody's praying to pass the class. But other than that, it's pretty open campus. What I do look for is to make sure that you are open to the idea of, again, what's out there. Gain the conscience, competence, compassion that earns you a Santa Clara degree. I always tell students you want to embrace each and everything and all the opportunities you have to experience what you can do while studying at Santa Clara. We're not a big school. We're not a small school. We're big on one-on-one attention. So 11-to-1 faculty-student ratios, your average class 23 to 24, leading high graduation rates and high retention rates here at Santa Clara. Almost 90% of you will be able to finish in 4 years. The ones that mess it up, my business, and my engineers. That's because you guys get the option for the 4+1 opportunity at Santa Clara, and in 5 years, wrap up a master's and a bachelor's degree. Engineering is also the only program with a PhD if you decide to go all the way. You'll never have big lecture halls here. In fact, at Santa Clara, again, it's very, very intimate. Right now, do your research. Your largest classes now are well over 1,000 students per class. So look at it. Now, we were founded as a liberal arts institution, but because, yes, we are Silicon Valley, a lot of people automatically assume only business and engineering. Well, at Santa Clara, it's a little bit of everything that we have to offer you. So be creative with what you have. But if you want to get down and dirty with your education, we do business, we do engineering, and get you guys into those labs right away, not when you're juniors or seniors like at other schools. And get creative. Again, we want you guys to be involved. We have 20 Division I sports, 19 club sports, and over 150 clubs and organizations in Santa Clara. So I want bookworms, but I want bookworms that want to be doing something. Show me that you're not afraid to go paint your face and get on ESPN every once in a while. Your housing here, ridiculously nice. Everything is accommodated for you. All you have to do is come in here. Your first 2 years are guaranteed. If you want the junior and senior year, I can accommodate that, but most of you might want to study abroad. So that's something that we will accommodate for each and every one of you. The big thing is be careful because you're freshman 15, you're freshman 40, it's gonna happen. We love eating here on this campus and enjoying the Bay Area. You all live it here. It's the most culturally diverse place in the world that you guys can live in. So take advantage of all that stuff while studying here. We are only on the Common App. You tell me what application or what college you want to start with, arts and science, business, or engineering. I'm direct entry. The catch is I will bring in only 60% of you into arts and sciences, only 25% of you into business, and only 15% of you into engineering school at Santa Clara. Currently, the most popular majors: communications, counseling, psychology, political science, accounting and finance, civil, mechanical, biomedical engineering. And then, yes, because of the Valley, computer science is extremely popular here. But I offer computer science in all 3 schools: arts and science, business, and engineering. So it's up to you to decide what you're looking for. In arts and sciences, it's more mathematics, algorithms, language, encryption focused. Business is data processors, data servers, helping industry leverage modern technology to increase profit. Engineering is going to look both at hardware and software. What's the current weakness and how do I push it to the next frontier? And I'll help you with all of that. We do offer pre-professional track advising, pre-med, pre-law, pre-dental, pre-teaching, pre-nursing, pre-pharmacy for anybody who aspires to be at that level as well. As far as the applications go, it's up to you. Take a picture of this, most important slide of the deck, okay? I'm very transparent on what I'm looking for and what I want on an unweighted GPA scale. Do the work, and I'll give you the opportunity. Now, Santa Clara gives you about a golden ticket. Right now, we're in the top 1% of income earners for alumni. And your deadlines are coming up, so don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know how we can continue supporting your adventure, and don't be afraid to dream. I'll turn it over now to my colleagues at University of Alabama.
Thank you, Lorenzo. All right, our next presenter is the University of Alabama.
Hi, y'all. My name is Jackie, and I'm the regional recruiter for the University of Alabama. Thank you so much for being here with me to learn more about our phenomenal campus. So I like to show a little drone tour of campus just because we are located here in the Bay Area and it is kind of hard to get out to Tuscaloosa. So I'd like to show this so that you can kind of visualize what campus is like and see if it would be someplace where you can see yourself studying. We were founded in 1831 on about 1,000 acres in the middle of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're located right next to downtown Tuscaloosa, and we're centrally located. So all of our buildings and athletic facilities are right there on campus. It is a very walkable campus, so if you're not bringing a car to campus, not to worry, you can definitely get around. However, it is really hot. It does rain a lot as well, so you'll probably take advantage of our free shuttle service that we offer to students, faculty, staff, and visitors. Here's some of our athletic facilities, but even if you're not a D1 athlete, there's spaces for you to go and relax, like our intramural fields and our aquatic center with our lazy river and swimming pool. Here's Bryant-Denny Stadium, home of the Crimson Tide, and our river that cuts right along campus, which is the Black Warrior River. So you also have access to some outdoor activities as well. Tuscaloosa is a city of about 100,000 people, so it's very different than the Bay Area, but you still get all of those things that you are used to being from the San Jose area. The closest city is Birmingham, Alabama, so that would be where you'd be flying into, but we are close to places like Nashville, Atlanta, New Orleans, and the Florida Gulf Coast. This was my favorite part about going to college, or college in the South, just because I'm from the Bay Area originally, and going to the South and the SEC, I was able to go to all these different places that I had never traveled to before. So that was my favorite part about going to school in the SEC. Moving on to our academics, we offer more than 200 different majors and minors. And on the off chance that we don't offer the major that you're interested in, you have the opportunity to create your own major through the new college. While we are a large research institution, we maintain a student to faculty ratio that averages 23:1. Our top 5 programs of study are business, engineering, communications, health sciences, and human sciences. Our nursing program was just ranked in the top 5% in the country. Our business program is ranked in the top 40 for public institutions, and our PR program was just ranked #1 in the country. So there's so many top programs for you to study. When it comes to internships, we are ranked #2 in the entire country for internship placements. That's thanks to our faculty who are phenomenal. They are Nobel laureates, Pulitzer Prize winners, Emmy Award winners, and they're able to connect you with internships and their field contacts, and also our huge alumni network that you are able to take advantage of as a graduate of the University of Alabama. Moving on to student life, we have some very, very highly engaged students on our campus. We have over 650 student organizations ranging from social and service to pre-professional programs. Last year, UA students gave back about 1 million hours of service to the Tuscaloosa and Alabama community. So when you are filling out your scholarship application, definitely highlight your volunteer experience because we love to see how you'll be engaged on our campus. These freshman enrollment statistics are a little bit outdated. These are from fall 2020. Our incoming fall 2021 freshman class is about 7,300 students, but the student population breakdown remains the same. About 40% of our students are from in-state, and about 55% of students are from out of state. Students are coming from states like Georgia, Florida, Texas, and Tennessee, and California students currently ranked #7 when it comes to our out-of-state population. Our students represent all 50 states plus DC, as well as over 90 countries within our international student population. We also have the largest Greek community in the nation. If you are interested in joining a sorority or a fraternity, but only about 35% of our students are affiliated with the Greek organization. So there's so many ways to get to know students outside of that if you are not interested in going through Rush. Moving on to our scholarships. The University of Alabama offers some of the most generous merit-based scholarships in the country. We have 2 different types. We have our automatic merit scholarships where we just take into consideration your test score and your GPA, and it really takes the guessing game out of the scholarship offers that you'll be getting as a spring senior. So you just look at your test scores, your GPA, and that's exactly what you'll be offered. For a lot of California students, you might not have had the opportunity to take a standardized test score. That's where you would look at our competitive admission scholarship. Those take into consideration some academic criteria, but also some non-academic criteria as well, like your volunteer experience, like I mentioned. We offer 2 different ways to apply. So we have the UA specific application and the Common App. Once you submit those, your application and the $40 application fee, you can submit your high school transcript and you'll receive your admissions decision within 2 to 3 weeks since we are rolling admissions. We are test optional, holistic review, and you're automatically considered for scholarships because our scholarship application is embedded within our admissions application. We don't look at essays or letters of recommendation. And next week is actually our free application week. So if you are interested in applying and you don't want to pay that application fee, next week would be the perfect time for you. Here's my contact information. That QR code will take you to a link tree that I will add into the chat, but feel free to call me, text me, email me, or set up one-on-one Zoom sessions with me. Thanks y'all for learning more about the University of Alabama, and roll tide.
Thank you, Jackie. All right, our next presenter is Florida Southern College.
All right, so we're heading a little bit further south from the University of Alabama today. My name is Shannon Barnes. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Florida Southern, which is located right smack dab in between Tampa and Orlando in a town called Lakeland. So we're right in the middle of Central Florida in driving distance of something like 8.5 million people in a town of about 114,000 that's statistically one of the fastest growing areas of the country. So very vibrant, very cool, and really a very close-knit community of about 3,000 total students. So we are quite a bit smaller and really oriented around that small campus experience. Florida Southern operates 5 different schools, but administratively, you don't apply to these schools separately. The only thing that we are going to ask you to specify if you're applying for is our direct entry nursing program, because you do have to come into that as a first year. For everything else, whether that's business administration, whether that's data analytics, computer science, pre-med, education, you apply to the college as a whole and let us know what you're thinking about majoring in. Most students come in with some idea of the major that they're looking at, but it's very flexible, so you can choose to major and minor across all of these different schools. Typically about 40% of our students will do a major or a minor, and it's pretty common to see some very, very different combinations. So physical therapy and business, something like that, totally okay. If you are looking at going on for a master's degree, we offer Masters of Accountancy, Masters of Business Administration, a Masters of Education, a couple different options there, as well as an Industrial and Organizational Psychology Masters as a 4+1 program, so 2 degrees in 5 years. We also go all the way through a doctorate in both nursing and in physical therapy. So if you're looking at pursuing those are some good options as well. But really, regardless of what you're studying at Florida Southern, we really emphasize those small class sizes, the hands-on experience. We want to make sure that you're really getting a chance to be really actively involved in what you're doing. So we want to make sure that you get a chance to do research. We want to make sure that you get a chance to have those discussion questions or go on to conferences with your professors and really be a partner in your learning. We also structure your education around what we call our 3 guarantees. So we want to make sure that every single student who comes through Florida Southern gets the chance to study abroad, gets the chance to do an internship, and graduates in 4 years. So I'm more than happy to talk about these in more depth, but these are guaranteed to everybody who comes through our doors, and we want to make sure that these experiences are part of your time at FSC. What that winds up meaning is that we really see our students continuing on from Florida Southern into a wide variety of things, whether that's going into the workforce directly or going on to graduate school. Give or take about 1/3 of our students will continue directly into some form of graduate school. The other 2/3 are looking at going into either employment or into something like service. We are a top producer of Fulbright students as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to really dive in and take advantage of that time for your career. We are a residential campus. We guarantee housing for all 4 years. And you can see down at the bottom corner, that is the lake that we're situated on here, Lake Hollingsworth. So you've got a ton of really beautiful campus opportunities to live in. Most students will move into the campus apartments their junior and senior year, but those are guaranteed as part of campus housing as well. We are a Division II school. If you're looking at playing for the athletic teams, contact the coaches. I can help you get in contact with them, and they'll work through the recruitment process with you. But if you're not interested in sports as part of your kind of extracurricular side of things, then there's a ton of other stuff to do. So you have the option to get involved in Greek life. You have the option to get involved with like improv comedy or volunteer organizations. It's very hard to be bored on this campus. Application-wise, we're on the Common Application, the Coalition Application, and Florida Southern's own kind of specific application. Don't have a preference, use whichever is going to be most convenient. We are test optional for all majors. So if you decide to send in test scores, cool. If you don't decide to send in test scores, cool. Whichever is going to work best for you. We'll ask for a copy of your high school transcript and a letter of recommendation and go from there. Scholarships wise, you'll be automatically reviewed for merit scholarships going up to about $21,000 a year automatically. You don't have to do anything specific for those. There are a couple of scholarships that do have a special application. Those deadlines are coming up in November and January. So if you're looking at the prestige scholarships, definitely start working on those applications within the next couple of weeks. Do want to also highlight that if you are accepted with certain scholarships, we will help pay for your flight to come visit Florida Southern. So if you're thinking about coming down in kind of the end of your senior year to make your college decisions, we'll help finance the flight for you, and I'm more than happy to help you make travel arrangements. However, there are also a ton of visit options. Check out the visit page. There's a bunch of different virtual tours on there. And here's my contact information. So if you need anything, you're more than welcome to set up an appointment with me or text me, and I'll be here to help you through the process. I am also the financial aid counselor for everybody in those areas listed on there as well. So if you have questions about scholarships or financial aid, I'm also here as a resource for that. But I think that wraps up for me, and I will pass it on to the next person.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shannon. Our next college presenting tonight is Loyola Marymount University.
Hello, everyone. We're heading back to California at Loyola Marymount University. My name is Shaylee Koizumi, and I am so pleased to be with you here tonight. I'm an undergraduate admission counselor at LMU, but I'm also a proud alumna of the institution. So LMU is the only Catholic Jesuit mid-sized institution in Southern California. Our Jesuit identity is really important to us because we see it woven through all of the pieces of LMU. And our mission statement really encaptures that for us. That's the encouragement of learning, the education of the whole person, and the service of faith and promotion of justice. So really looking at how our community can benefit from the natural curiosity we see in our students, how we look at our students and all of that they bring into the world holistically, all that they bring to the table, but also how we can impact our community through the ways that we interact. Now, we are a mid-sized institution, meaning that we have about 6,600 students. We like to think of that through the Goldilocks method of we're not too big or not too small, we are just right. We have an average class size of about 19 with an average student to faculty ratio of 10:1. So students are really going to get that individualized attention where they're building strong relationships with their professors. We are a liberal arts institution, so we have a liberal arts core curriculum, but we also have 5 undergraduate schools and colleges, the Bellarmine College of Liberal Arts, which is really the heart of our interdisciplinary education, the College of Business and Administration, where we have 6 programs, all of which are ranked, and this can range from finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, and management, to the College of Communication and Fine Arts, where we see communication as fine art and fine art as communication. And students are really engaging in not only those communication arts, but also the visual and performing arts as well. The next school is the School of Film and Television, which is ranked 8th in the nation for film schools, where we really emphasize the creative freedom and liberties of our students, where anything they create while they're at our school with us is theirs. They own the rights to that work. And our final college is Seaver College of Science and Engineering, where we see our students engaged in lab-based classes where research can begin within their very first semester with us here at LMU. Now, in addition to our academic life, we have a robust student life on campus as well, with over 200 clubs and organizations, from sororities and fraternities to service organizations to cultural organizations, as well as spiritual life. We have 19 residence halls and apartment style buildings on campus, and housing is guaranteed for our first 2 years to our students. 9 on-campus dining locations, from cafeteria style to our fancy restaurant, the Crimson Lion, to our student-run coffee shop, the Lion's Den. We are also a Division I school with 21 Division I sports, but we also have club and intramural sports, as well as our very own esports center for those interested in gaming. We have over 5,300 on-campus employment opportunities, as well as 1,500 vetted internship opportunities with robust career and professional development services for our students beginning the very moment they become a Lion with us. One thing we're extremely proud about is that our students engage in over 200,000 hours of community service annually, making us number 4 in the nation for students engaged in service. We don't have a service requirement at LMU. Students are engaged in service because they are called to do that work and they are empowered to do that work here on our campus. And we also have over 80 study abroad experiences, which we're so excited to welcome back this spring, where our students engage in domestic programs, but as well globally. Our location is critical. We are about 10 minutes from LAX and about 2.5 miles from the closest beach, about halfway between Manhattan Beach and Santa Monica. Beach going is something that we strongly see our students engaging in on campus. We also have all of the access to the cultural wealth that Los Angeles has to offer, from museums to hiking to tours to professional opportunities. Just down the bluff from us, we are located on a hilltop, which we call the Bluff here at LMU, is Silicon Beach. You are all familiar with Silicon Valley. Well, Silicon Beach is our version down here in Southern California, where you're seeing those tech, multimedia, and startup companies, as well as those major big names like Google, Yahoo, YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat having their campuses, which is serves as a fantastic pipeline for our students for career and professional opportunities. These are just a quick overview of some application deadlines. We are test optional for this year, and our application is available on the Common App, the Coalition app, as well as the LMU app on our website. I encourage you to check out lmu.edu/apply for a full list of all of our requirements for this year. We also offer a wide variety of virtual engagements for our students to support you in this process. And these are just those, we're calling those Experience LMU. So you can engage with an admission overview like you're getting briefly today, or you can get an application workshop where we'll walk through the process with you and tell you exactly what we're looking for, to virtual campus tours, but also we have in-person and self-guided driving tours, but you can also learn more specifically about each of our schools and colleges. We also have opportunities to connect with our academic deans, learn directly from LMU faculty. We just had a session on interactive animation where students got to see how our computer science and our animation students come together to create interactive animation. Again, you can learn more about career and professional development services and financial aid. And if you want to stay connected with us, I encourage you to reach out to us at admission@lmu.edu. I'll also drop a link in the chat for you to sign up to learn more about us. It's been a pleasure to be with you this evening, and I want to turn it over to my colleagues.
Thank you. All right, we're going to hear from our last college, the University of Kansas. Thank you so much, Sophie.
Let me get this going really fast. Sorry, just having a little bit of a difficulty. Let's see. Give me just a second.
While Sophie's getting ready, I want to remind our attendees that we will have time for questions after this session, but you can also use the Q&A button to ask questions throughout the session. All right, Sophie's ready. We're going to hear about the University of Kansas.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. We're going to go smack dab in the middle of the Midwest right now for the University of Kansas. If you guys have never been to Kansas, KU is located in Lawrence, Kansas. It's a little town. It's not very little. It's about 40 minutes away from Kansas City. I'm sure you guys have heard of Kansas City. So KU, if you're not aware, our mascot is the Jayhawk. So who are Jayhawks? Just kind of a little background. A Jayhawk is not a real bird, unfortunately. It is a made up bird that we kind of used going all the way back to like the Civil War. People from Kansas were called Jayhawkers. So we just kind of implemented that spirit and wanted to make that our mascot for KU. These are just a bunch of different students that we have here at KU. So moving forward, KU is a bigger institution. We have about 19,000 undergrad students, which sounds like a lot, but we actually do have a 17-to-1 faculty to or student to faculty ratio, which is pretty good. That means you can kind of have a lot of interaction with your professors. You're not just a number. And we don't have a ton of those giant lecture halls. So there are a lot of opportunities for smaller classes and just kind of getting more of like a face-to-face interaction with your classmates, stuff like that. We do have about 40% out-of-state students, which heavily applies to you guys. Obviously, if you're coming from California, you will have an opportunity to meet people from all over the world, which is great. Not just people from Kansas, which is something that not a lot of people know when they think about KU. Three things really fast that just kind of make KU different and help KU stand out from other institutions. So we are part of the AAU, which if you're not aware is the Association of American Universities. Basically, that means that we are one of 66 private and public institutions that gets a bunch of money for research funding. So there's a ton of different opportunities for students. You might be thinking, oh, I want to do journalism. What does that have to do with research? You'll actually do a lot more with research than you think. It's not just standard in a lab with a white coat. Obviously, we offer that too, which is great. if that's what you're interested in. But there's a ton of money towards that funding that leads to like study abroad. Like I said, that research, hands-on experiences for students, whether that's engineering, English, social work, psychology, anything like that. We are the only institution in Kansas that is part of the AAU, and we have been a part of it since 1909. So we definitely have a lot of those unique opportunities. Engineering is a big one where we get a lot of that research funding. That one of the co-founders of Google Earth, Brian McClendon, he is from Lawrence, Kansas. So if you didn't know, if you zoom all the way into the center of Google Earth, the location is Lawrence, Kansas. It's his childhood home, which is really cool and super unique. And Brian McClendon is actually now a professor at KU. So if you're interested in engineering, you could have a co-founder of Google Earth as your professor, which is super awesome and unique. The second thing that makes KU stand out is Lawrence. Like I said, we're located in Lawrence, Kansas. It's such a fun town, very unique. So it is a top 10 college town. This picture here is of Massachusetts Street, which is like the it factor when it comes to Lawrence. That's our downtown. It has so many opportunities for live music. It's actually a #1 live music destination. I saw Panic at the Disco there my freshman year, which was awesome. And we do have a ton of hiking and biking trails. So coming from California, if that is something that you really like to do, Lawrence and KU still have a lot of that to offer for you, which is super awesome. Mass Street is really the heart and soul of Lawrence, and Lawrence couldn't exist without KU, and KU couldn't exist without Lawrence. So it's something that's super unique and awesome to kind of think about. So like I said, we're about 40 minutes away from Kansas City, which is a major metropolitan area. A lot of students go there for internships with like sports teams, engineering, stuff like that. And we're 20 minutes away from Topeka, which is the capital city in Kansas. A lot of our students go there for law internships, to shadow like government, stuff like that. So there's a lot of those hands-on opportunities for you in a great location. The last thing that makes KU different is that Jayhawk identity. There's lots of Wildcats, all those kind of mascots. There's truly only one Jayhawk. It's a very distinct mascot, something I love about that. If you've heard Rock Chalk Jayhawk, nobody else has kind of that kind of community tradition, stuff like that. We have a huge alumni network. I was in an airport in New Zealand and someone recognized the Jayhawk on my hat and we had a conversation. There's people all over the world that go to KU, not just from Kansas or the Midwest, which is super awesome. We also have a lot of clubs and organizations for students. There's anything you want to get involved in, you probably can do it. There's an Oreo eating club. There's a ton of clubs. Quidditch, if you like Harry Potter, we have a pretty competitive Quidditch team. Obviously, we have a good basketball team. Those games are really fun to go to. Tons of diversity, just a lot that goes with that Jayhawk identity. We do have these assured admissions requirements. So if you follow one of these two, you will automatically get applied, which is awesome. You can take a picture of that if you want. I will drop a lot of stuff in the chat as well. We did just update our scholarships to be GPA based only. So this is what you'll kind of be looking at for out of state based on your GPA, which is awesome. We're the only school in Kansas that does it like that. I will drop all this in the chat. Here's just some of our deadlines. And this is the only place where you can be a Jayhawk. Thank you so much for having me, and rock chalk.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sophie. All right. We are at one of my favorite parts of the session, besides hearing about all the great colleges. It's where the college representatives get to share advice for our attendees. So I'm going to invite all of our college representatives to come back on the screen. And we'll start with our very first question, which is, what advice would you give to students who are going through the college search process? So we'll start with our very first presenter from UC Berkeley.
Hi, everyone. Again, thank you. I just want to say first, thank you for all your questions. I'm getting to them, so I got you. But my biggest advice is when you're looking at colleges, think of three things. You want to think about major, location, and size, okay? Not all colleges are gonna have the major that you're interested in, so research that. You wanna think about the location. Is the location right for you? Do you wanna go to school on a beach or a city, etc.? And then my third piece of advice is look at the size. Do you wanna go to a big public school with lots of students or maybe a small, private school with maybe a itty bitty amount of students? So find the best fit for you, and find your niche.
Thank you, Amanda. I would piggyback off of that, and I'm gonna say, one, make sure that your schools that you're looking at know that you exist. So make sure that you're in that data pipeline for them. Two, answer emails and your phone calls that we try to send to you guys. And then three, don't settle. Shoot for risky schools. Like you guys can do it. Enjoy.
Yeah, definitely to echo what both Amanda and Lorenzo were saying. I would also say to not discount anywhere just because, you think that like, oh, that's not somewhere that I could imagine. If you would have told me as a junior or senior in high school that I would be in the SEC for college, I probably would have laughed at you and said, there's no way I'm going to Southern California. But I decided, to just get out of my comfort zone. So I really encourage everyone to get outside of their comfort zone. If if the West Coast is your comfort zone, maybe get out of that. If California is your comfort zone, maybe go up north to Oregon or Washington. So definitely get out of your comfort zone. It will encourage and catalyze a lot of growth for you.
I think for me, the biggest thing is talking to current students at the place that you're looking at. Like Florida Southern's on Zini, which is an app that you can use. A lot of schools have options for you to reach out to current students on their website. You can talk with your admissions counselor at a lot of schools to get connected with someone who might be in majors that you're interested in or from a place that's close to you. But really talking with current students is going to be the best way for you to understand what life is like. Because like as much as we enjoy talking about all of our schools, we're not students, like we're not in the day-to-day life of that anymore. And so I think really hearing from that firsthand is really important too.
This is also fantastic advice. And one thing I would add is be yourself. There's no one who's going to know you better than you. And when we look at your applications, many of us look at you, if not all of us look at you holistically. So the more you tell us, the more we get to know you. Tell us your story, tell us your narrative, share who you are, because that's who we're going to be seeing when we look at those applications.
Yeah, that's all great advice. My piece of advice is to go where you want to go to school. Don't go where your mom wants you to go, where your dad wants you to go. Obviously, their input is important, but it's your experience. So it's really important that you're choosing the place that is best for you and that you think you will fit in best.
That's wonderful. You all did such a great job. All right, so we have time for just one more question, and this is the hardest question to ask a college representative, but if you could think of one thing that you want our attendees to remember, what would it be? So I'll give you about 5 seconds just to encourage our attendees at this time to look through the chat and make sure you copy down all the links that are in the chat. Okay, college representatives, I stalled enough. Just one important thing that you want our attendees to remember, starting with UC Berkeley.
UC Berkeley students are change makers. They challenge the status quo. They're leaders. They're literally changing the world.
Invent the life you guys want to lead.
I would say remember that your comfort zone is where you start to grow, or outside of your comfort zone is where you start to grow.
I would probably say that it's okay to ask for help, and knowing how to ask for help is a hugely important skill. So make use of the resources around you.
Wherever you decide to go, you're going to grow. You're going to change. You probably won't recognize yourself 4 years later. So make the best choice for you.
I also just want to echo, you won't grow inside your comfort zone. Do things that challenge you, do things that scare you, and just make sure that you're staying true to yourself.
Well, that was wonderful. I feel inspired. Thank you all so much. I see that there was a question. Just want to make sure that everyone can find the contact information in the chat. There we go. There's websites there as well. And I know that you can also find our great college representatives information on their college website. So if you just search, I love Google. If you just search for their website and then go to the admissions page, you'll find Meet the Counselors and you'll be able to locate them that way as well. All right, we are at the end of our session. I want to say thank you to everyone for attending. This was such a great night of hearing about the colleges, but then also getting great advice for how to move forward in the search and application process. As you close out of this session, you are going to receive a quick 5-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can offer so that we can continue to offer our best in future opportunities. Want to encourage you to check out the recording. If you joined us a little late this evening, the recording will be available at strivescan.com/Archbishop-Mitty. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Thank you to our college representatives, and everyone have a great evening.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.